Arsenal fans, we have actually dreamed of summers like this, where top talent actually want to come to the club, live where they are, to be part of the project, the Mikel Arteta project. We started this summer with Kepa Arrizabalaga. After Kepa, we moved over to Martins Zubimendi. It has been reported that Christian Nogard is already in London Coney ahead of his move. And of course, we are very close to signing Victor Gyökeres. However, on the home front, Arsenal have been heavily linked with a move for Eberechi Eze, which many Arsenal fans are actually drooling on the prospect of having a player like Eze in our team. But at the same time, Arsenal has been linked with a move for Noni Madueke in Chelsea. According to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal has actually tabled a 50 million bid for Madueke. There has not been any information of a bid made for Eberechi Eze. So the question I want to ask is this: what happens when two of our biggest targets could potentially block each other? Today we're going to talk about that possibility that signing Noni Madueke might just end our hopes of signing Eberechi Eze. And in all honesty, the thought of that actually hurts. Welcome to All About Arsenal. I'm your host Tony. Let's go into the video. So the first question we would ask is this: why does Arsenal want Noni Madueke? Very clear. Arsenal wants a backup for Bukayo Saka. Arsenal's right winger under Unai Emery was Nicolas Pepe. Arteta came inherited Pepe, but he made the crucial call to convert a young Saka from a left fullback to a right winger. And that was basically a touch of genius. And since then, Saka has grown leaps and bounds, improved so much as a player, getting into world-class caliber. But Pepe was not good enough to be his backup. So Arteta went into Chelsea and got Willian, the pensioner. Willian was even worse. So what did he do? He tried to rely on youth, give a chance to Reece Nelson. Even if he didn't really give him a chance per se, but Reece Nelson was basically the backup to Saka. But he was so poor that I think I prefer to run Saka ragged rather than giving Nelson a chance. And of course, he eventually went to Fulham. So that season, we tried experience with the great Raheem Sterling. That turned out to be a disaster. Sterling was way worse than anyone that actually tried in that wing, even worse than Willian, and certainly worse than Pepe. And as fate will have it, Saka, who had been a minutes monster, playing over 200 appearances for the club without even getting injured, finally got his first biggest injury ever. It was his hamstring that got injured when Arsenal played Crystal Palace in December 2024. And losing Saka set Arsenal back terribly. We deployed Ethan Waneri in that position, and he tried a couple of times, but he was no Saka. So it's just very evident that going into this new campaign, we need some depth in that position. There are games when we are leading maybe 2-0, 3-0, and I think I would want to pick Saka out to bring in fresher legs. And that's when Noni Madueke comes into the picture. I actually did a video on Madueke a couple of days back. I called it Making a Case for Madueke to Arsenal, where I spoke about his strengths, spoke about how he fit Arsenal tactically, and I also touched on his flaws. And I was okay with the move, in all honesty. But the question is, why does Arsenal want Madueke? First things first, Madueke is a direct and explosive winger. And he's very young. He's just 22, I think 23. He has raw pace and has the ability to take on defenders that Arteta wants on the flanks. And he's also very versatile. In Chelsea, he plays on the right wing and also plays on the left wing. He's also homegrown, which is a good thing, and he has a very huge upside. Chelsea hasn't used him consistently, or rather say, in the games he has featured for Chelsea, he hasn't really lit up much fireworks. But Arsenal actually see an opportunity to swoop in for him and add some genuine with, and of course one-on-one threats. According to the Grove, Madueke feels like a version of Jeremy Doku, a one-on-one merchant who can break lines with his pace and create goals for a potential Gyökeres or Havertz. But what is important is that he's willing. Apparently, he has even agreed personal terms. So someone can actually do a job in the right flank when deployed. We won't expect him to start games, maybe Carabao Cup, maybe FA Cup, or Champions League game here and there, but he will serve mainly as a backup to Bukayo Saka. So what makes Eberechi Eze so special? He's arguably one of the most elegant midfielders in the Premier League. He has played in Crystal Palace for a couple of seasons, he's hooked more from QPR, and in his time at Crystal Palace, Eze has put us on blockbuster performances, and eventually his talents came into the fore when Crystal Palace actually won the FA Cup last season. Eze is very flamboyant, Eze is press resistant, and Eze can unlock any defense in ways fewer players can. He floats in between the lines, he can break low blocks, he's very technical, he's a great passer of the ball, he's a dead ball specialist, and he has a beautiful shot on him. He knows when to go for power and he knows when to go for precision. According to the Gunnar talk, he is going to be the marquee signing for the club, even more than Gyökeres if he joins. He's an outstanding player, a player that I love so much, and I really, really hope that Arsenal go for him. Even when we're talking about links with Rodrigo, I actually prefer Eze to Rodrigo because one, he's adept on the left flank. He can drop in and play as a left eight. He can also take Odegaard's position as the right eight, and he can also play as a number 10. So this is someone that has so many traits that can come into a club like Arsenal and he become outstanding. He's also a maverick player. He's the kind of person that can do stuff out of the blue. Create basically something from nothing. He is that kind of player. That's why I love Eze. I've watched him enough to know that I would love to see him in my club because he's a brilliant footballer and he has proven himself in the Premier League. So he won't require any adaptation. But let's look at the financial reality. Eze had a release clause of £67.5 million. Madueke is available for £50 million. Obviously, Eze is a better player than Madueke, but Arsenal needs to be smart this summer. The club is linked to move for Victor Gyökeres, which is going to be a major move. Of course, also trying to buy Christian Mosquera. If you want to work with a controlled budget, might really be possible to sign both Eze and Madueke. Does this sound realistic? I would expect that the club has a lot of money to spend this summer, but with so many targets coming in and more targets actually on the move, but with so many targets, with so many players Arteta is linked with, but with so many players Arsenal is linked with, and of course our PSI and FFD restrictions, can we actually go for Gyökeres as well as Eze and Madueke? Is it realistic enough? Now let's look at the tactical overlap and squad balance. From a standpoint of tactics, Eze and Madueke are not meant to be compared because they play in different positions. Madueke features predominantly as a right winger, and I'm guessing that he's going to come into the club to serve as Bukayo Saka's backup. Eze, on the other hand, might probably be the marquee signing for the left wing that Arsenal is looking for, but we have Martinelli and we have Trossard in those positions. Both wingers have been linked with moves away from the club, with Martinelli linked to a move to Bayern Munich, as well as a move to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. And reports just surfaced that Fenerbahce is interested in signing Trossard. In as much as I love Trossard, he's going to be 31 in December, and he has 1 year left on his Arsenal contract. So if there's any time to catch him on him, it will be now. So would the sale of Trossard potentially open up the door for Eze? But right now we can't tell because both Trossard and Martinelli are still in the club. And Eze coming in creates some form of imbalance in the sense that I would expect Eze to play as the left winger, and I don't think Arteta want to have three players in that position. Even though Eze can also be played as a left eight. But we all know that Declan Rice will be the main left eight for the club. For me personally, this feels like choosing two dreams. Eze is a player that Arsenal have admired for years. Madueke is a rising star that can actually transform our wing play. But if it comes down to one or the other, it has to admit that signing Madueke might actually end the chance of bringing in Eze. So what should Arsenal do? This is where I want your opinion. Should Arsenal go all in on Madueke and forget about Eze? Should Arsenal stretch their budget and try to sign the two? Should Arsenal prioritize a attacking signing instead? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because whatever happens, this summer could define our ambitions for years to come. So thank you so much for watching today's video. If you've enjoyed this deep dive, please drop a like. It helps more Arsenal fans see the video. And don't forget to subscribe to see all the latest Arsenal transfer news, tactical analysis, and match previews. Until next time, come on, you gunners.